Good day, everyone. I am Shaira B. Aguilo together with
Juan Jean Arevalo.
Helmina Lorenzana.
and for today, we're going to discuss about the Mathematical School of Economic Thought. So at the end of the lesson, students should be able to first explain what mathematical economics is. Second, getting familiar with the marginalists and the roots of neoclassical economics in mathematics. And lastly, to understand the specific contributions of Carnot, Walras, and Edgeworth to the field of mathematical economics. What is the meaning of mathematical economics? So mathematical economics is a form of economics that relies on quantitative methods to describe economic phenomena. So it relies on defining all the relevant assumptions, conditions, and causal structures of economic theories in mathematical terms. So may dalawang main benefits to doing this. Firstly, it allows economic theories to use mathematical tools such as algebra, and calculus to describe economic phenomena. And of course, to draw precise inferences from their basic assumptions and definitions. So secondly, it allows economists to operationalize these theories and inferences so that they can be tested empirically using quantitative data, and if validated, they can use to produce quantitative predictions about economic matters from the benefit of businesses, investors, and policymakers. Although the discipline of economics is heavily influenced by the bias of the researcher, mathematics allows economists to precisely define and test economic theories against real-world data. So the second slide will be discussed by the next report.
Marginalists and the roots of neoclassical economics in mathematics. So, ano nga ba yung neoclassical economics? It is a dominant economic theory which emerged in the late 19th and early 20th century. And it is rooted in the ideas of marginalism and utilizes mathematical concepts to analyze economic behavior and markets. So, to fully understand neoclassical economics, it emerged as a theory in the 1900s. Neoclassical economists believe that a consumer's first concern is to maximize personal satisfaction, also known as utility. Therefore, they make purchasing decisions based on their evaluations of the utility of a product or service. So this theory coincides with rational behavior theory, which states that people act rationally when making economic decisions. So in other words, people make a logical choice between two options based on their perception of which one is better for them. Furthermore, neoclassical economics stipulates that if a product or service often has value above and beyond its production costs, while classical economic theory assumes that a product's value derives from the cost of materials plus the cost of labor. Neoclassical economists say that consumers' perception of the value of a product affects its price and demand. So finally, this economic theory states that competition leads to an efficient allocation of resources within an economy. The forces of supply and demand create market equilibrium. So in contrast to Keynesian economics, the neoclassical school states that savings determine investment. It concludes that equilibrium in the market and growth at full employment should be the primary economic priorities of the government. So there are principles that can be summed up in three assumptions that underpin neoclassical economic theory. These are the rational thinking, maximizing, and information. So under rational thinking, people make rational choices between options based on the value that they identify in each choice. And under maximizing, consumers aim to maximize utility while businesses aim to maximize profits. And lastly, information. People act independently based on having all the relevant information related to a choice or action. So, there are two notable marginalists in the neoclassical economics. So, firstly, we have Karl Menger. Karl Menger is an Austrian economist, and he is regarded as the founder of the Austrian School of Economics. He introduced the concept of marginal utility, stating that the value of good is based on the utility of its additional marginal units. So this idea revolutionized economic thought by focusing on incremental changes in utility and consumption. So the next marginalist will be discussed by the next report.
Ayan, so another marginalist, William Stanley Jevons, is an English economist and considered as one of the early pioneers of the marginal revolution. He introduced the concept of diminishing marginal utility, highlighting that the satisfaction derived from consuming each additional unit of a good decreases as consumption increases. So this principle is a crucial in understanding consumer behavior and demand. So in essence, both Menger and Jevon shifted the focus of economics from the total utility of a good to the additional or marginal utility, paving the way for modern economic analysis based on marginalism. So their work greatly influenced neoclassical economics and the development of contemporary economic theories. Yeah. So So let me discuss the contribution of Agustin Carnot to mathematical economics. So si Carnot introduced the ideas of functions and probability into economic analysis. He derived the first formula of the rule of supply and demand as a function of price, and in fact was the first to draw supply and demand curves on a graph, anticipating the work of Alfred Marshall by roughly 30 years. So another significant contribution of Agustin Carnot was the Carnot model in economics. So this model introduced a mathematical way to understand how companies set their production levels to maximize profits while considering what their competitors are doing. So it's like a strategic game where each company decides how many products to make, aiming for the best outcome in competitive market. So another one, Carnot's work helps us grasp the dynamics of competition and pricing in real-world business scenarios using mathematical analysis. So yung contribution niya is like giving us the rules to play a smart game in business. Imagine a game where two companies decide how much to produce. So Carnot showed how companies can strategize on how much they produce to make the most money while considering what their rivals are up to. So it's like knowing the best moves in a chess match. Therefore, understanding this helps businesses make wise decisions and stay competitive, which is crucial naman talaga sa world ng economics. Yan. So, the next will be discussed by the next report.
Leon Wireless made a significant contribution to mathematical economics by pioneering the development of general equilibrium theory. This theory revolutionized the field by providing a comprehensive mathematical framework to analyze how supply and demand interact in a whole economy. It is like assembling a jigsaw puzzle of the entire economy. It's about figuring out how all the different pieces, like prices, goods, and people's preferences, fit together to create a balanced feature. Wireless help us understand that for every buyer, there is a seller. And for every product, there's a demand. It's like finding a perfect arrangement where everyone's needs are met. So in summary, wireless theory helps us to see how every decision in buying and selling connects, making it a huge and important tool to understand how our economy operates. It is notable because it laid the foundation for modern economics and changed how we study and make sense of the economic world around us.
So lastly, Francis Isidro Edgeworth's contribution to mathematical economics. So he made a notable contribution to mathematical economics through the development of the Edgeworth box, that is also known as the Edgeworth-Bowley box. This graphical tool illustrates that potential exchange of goods between two individuals or countries allows for the analysis of trade and distributional outcomes. So, a visual representation of exchange possibilities between two individuals showcasing the allocations of two different goods. So, the Edgeworth's box has become a fundamental tool in microeconomic analysis, aiding in understanding trade, efficiency, and fairness in economic transactions. It provides it provides a clear and insightful way to depict and analyze complex interactions in exchange and allocation, making making it a significant advancement in the field of mathematical economics. So Edgeworth contributions is like creating a fair playground for trading. It helps us to see how goods can be shared or traded. It helps us to figure out the best way to split resources to make everyone as happy as possible. It is notable because its smart tool is to understand and improve how we distribute and exchange things, making it a vital idea in economics to find fair and efficient ways of sharing and trading.
Yes, so studying the mathematical school of economic thought is like learning the language of economics with numbers and formulas. So, importante ito because it allows us to express complex economic ideas in a precise and logical way, almost like using a powerful tool to understand and solve economic puzzle. So, by using math, we can analyze markets, predict trends, and make informed decisions to steer our economy shift in the right direction. So it's about using numbers to comprehend, to plan, and to improve the way we manage our economic resources and well-being. And that was the end of our presentation, folks. Thank you for listening.